Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are having an amazing day. Today, I'm going to be talking about the best sports manga, or at least my all-time favorite sports manga, Blue Lock. For those who don't know about Blue Lock, I'll explain the plot later, but let me say this. If you haven't read Blue Lock, you're missing out on peak sports manga, and I will take that to the fucking grave. Haikyuu needs to step aside. Blue Lock is where it's at. Blue Lock is by far the best sports manga I've read. Granted, I haven't read much sports manga, but from what I have read, this is by far the best I've read, and I think it'll stay like that for a very long time. It's easily one of the best mangas I've read, period. The art, the story, and the characters just mix so well. If there is one thing that I absolutely hate about Blue Lock, is that there are no English releases. I hate that I can't own this manga physically. Well, I could, but it would be in Japanese, which is cool and all, but I just like my English releases more. It is nice reading a new chapter weekly instead of waiting months for a new volume, but the covers are just so clean. I want them so bad. Also, this video is going to be based on the 122 chapters that are currently out, but with that little discussion and rant over, I'll stop stalling and let's go in depth about what makes Blue Lock so amazing, shall we? When you think of sports anime or manga, you probably think of a high school team who isn't really well known or has fallen off and then making their way up to the nationals, but Blue Lock's story is really unique for a sports manga. So the story begins with Japan's elimination from the 2018 FIFA World Cup, which prompts the Japanese Football Union to start a program scouting high school players who will begin training in preparation for the 2022 Cup. Isagi Yoichi, a forward, receives an invitation to this program soon after his team loses to the chance to go to nationals because he passed to his less skilled teammate, who missed, without trying to make the game-changing goal by himself. Their coach will be Igo Jinpachi, who intends to destroy Japanese loser football by introducing a radical new training regimen, isolate 300 young forwards in a prison-like institution called Blue Lock, and put them through rigorous training aimed at creating the world's greatest egotist striker. Obviously, I didn't write that. I took that straight from my anime list. I'll leave the link to it in the description. There are a couple things that really separates Blue Lock from other anime manga like Haikyuu and Kuroko's Basket. One, obviously, being it's not based in high school. The second being that it really focuses on egoism and playing for yourself, not playing for your team, which really helps accentuate each character and how they play soccer. And the third being the pacing. I really like how fast-paced Blue Lock is. Obviously, they do take time in between matches to kind of slow things down and expand on the world and have some off-field character interactions and some backstories here and there. But when it comes to actual matches, it's really fast-paced. They only last like 6 or 7 chapters and they take no time at all to get to the point and explain things. And when they do need to explain things in depth, they do it while the match is still going on. It doesn't go out of its way to completely stop a match just for a flashback. The one thing that really pissed me off with sports anime manga like Haikyuu and Kuroko's is how they try to elongate the match for as long as possible. As much as I love Haikyuu, the Shiri Torizawa and Inarizaki matches were super long. They were fun to watch, but fuck, there were times where I got very bored, and honestly, Blue Lock doesn't have that issue. The matches are quick and have clear, concise endings. There were times where I genuinely had no idea what was going to happen, and what did happen blew me away sometimes. There were moments where my jaw dropped. I feel like another thing that makes this manga so solid when it comes to the story is that there will be an actual ending. Sports manga can just continuously throw matches at us and just continue the manga forever, but Blue Lock will have an actual ending. Knowing that there will only be one person standing and seeing people leave at a fast rate just lets us know how fast the ending is coming, and really makes each match feel so much more important, which really helps the story and the characters develop. When I say art is god tier, I mean it, and Blue Lock's art is god tier. The art is so consistently fantastic, it blows my mind every time I see a wide shot or a character and moment focused shot. My eyes feel blessed every time I read Blue Lock. The action is so well drawn, it's so clear yet so detailed and displays impact and speed so well. What I mean by that is that you can tell how hard they're kicking the ball by how deformed it is and how fast someone is going by the perspective of the camera. and form of the person. There was never a moment where I had to look back at a panel to understand what happened. I only look back at the panels when I want to stare at the beautiful art. The wide shots are straight gorgeous. Like I said before, it absolutely blows my mind on how good these panels are. Actually, there was one panel where my jaw literally dropped and I looked at that panel for 5 straight minutes. It's my absolute favorite panel from Blue Lock so far. The wide shots just totally encapsulate one moment and just makes it 1,000 times cooler. It's not only the wide shots that are beautiful, the single panel moments are gorgeous as well. It does exactly what the wide shots do, but on a smaller scale. But I believe they are just as good. I absolutely love how they display the idea of powers in this manga. They don't take on any real shape or form, but seeing like this smoke or aura leak out of them looks so good. And the way they visualize some characteristics with animals, monsters, and well, Isagi's puzzle pieces, it's so visually pleasing seeing these characteristics come to life and see them take some kind of shape. It's very creative. The colored pages honestly aren't the best, but they give us a good example of what each character looks like with color and what they may or may not look like in an anime. Oh, I swear to God, if an anime comes out for this manga, you have no idea how hype I'll be. The art is just overall phenomenal. Some of the best manga art I've ever seen. Sports anime manga is known for having a very diverse cast of characters, and Blue Lock is no different. I absolutely love the characters in Blue Lock. Their character designs are super unique, and their powers or skill make them so much more interesting and distinctive. I do have my favorites, but all around I love each and every single character. The more and more you read this manga, the more and more characters you meet, and the more interesting they become. For example, there's this character named Ryusei Shido. The first time you meet him, he's literally beating the shit out of Igarashi. If that's not one of the best character introductions you've seen, then there's something wrong. They introduce these characters in such a smooth way, and they never feel out of the way. Each and every character has a meaning to the story, and Isagi's journey to become Japan's best striker. They never add characters just to add to the already big roster. They all have a purpose. That purpose being for themselves or for others. Isagi is easily one of the best protagonists out of all the sports manga I've read. His journey to becoming the best striker in Japan really makes you wonder how strong he actually is. Seeing him go from this bum who really didn't understand how a striker works to becoming someone who is the pure definition of a striker and truly shines on the soccer field. The moments where he awakens are honestly some of the best moments out of the entire manga. Seeing him devour others and show his true colors are so cool. And seeing him go beyond his limits and make god tier plays are hella badass and always fun to read. We don't know much about Isagi and what he's like outside of Blue Lock, and I kinda like it that way. It helps us focus more on the way Isagi is now and not who he used to be, and I feel like that's deliberate. We've only really gotten flashbacks on like 2 characters, and they didn't really matter, nor were they ever brought back up. All in all, the characters in Blue Lock are amazing, and they all have their place in the manga and make it so much more immersive and fun to read. If there is one thing you should take away from this amazing video, is to read Blue Lock. If this video hasn't convinced you to read it, why are you here? Why are you still watching this video? I wish Blue Lock would be more well known. It's such an underappreciated series that I believe every sports manga fanatic should read. It took all of the flaws from Haikyuu and Kuroko's and really made them shine and made them work in Blue Lock. I do believe Blue Lock is better than Haikyuu in many ways, so if you absolutely love Haikyuu, I definitely recommend you give Blue Lock a shot. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just showing my passion for Blue Lock and that you guys should read it. But yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.